Back in 1988, in Niger's Tiguidit desert, fashion designer Alphadi created FIMA. 2 decades later, for its 11th edition, the International Festival of African Fashion has decamped to Dakhla in Western Sahara. Today, African fashion is more vibrant than ever, holding up a mirror to a rapidly changing continent.
Fashion provides a way for women to assert themselves, in Morocco and the whole of Africa. We're very aware of the often difficult cultural history regarding the position of women in African societies. Fashion is one of the most powerful ways for women to assert their identities and personalities, a means of showing that they're proud to stake their claim to their newfound position in African society.
One standout designer from this year's festival is a contender for the Young Fashion Designer Prize. Intissa Baiz has just completed her 3rd year of studies. Her end-of-year collection was instantly deemed worthy of competition. She's just 21 years old.
I'm very happy. It's the first time I've put on a catwalk show. And it's also my first ever collection. The collection is a mix of 2 cultures, the Zazoos and the Sapeurs. The Zazoos are a movement from the 40s in which people expressed their love of jazz through their clothes. It's quite a structured, classic look. As for the Sapeurs, they're a real community. It's about the art of dressing, of holding yourself. It's an extremely rich tradition. It's colorful and extravagant.
And what about her plans post-university?
The truth is that I love haute couture and I love Alexander McQueen. I'd love to work at McQueen.
Youssef Drissi was born and raised in Morocco. The 22-year-old has given his collection an English name, Late at Work. His clothes breathe an unusual lightness into workwear, combining an office-appropriate aesthetic with sportswear.
I've taken 2 environments that are complete opposites. One of them is formal, square, in which clothing norms have to be respected. The other is cool, lets you wear exactly what you want. You can throw those norms out the window. For example, here you have shorts. The top part is tailored, but the rest resembles football shorts. That's a nod to what was considered the cool kids' uniform in the 90s. These shorts are the expression of 2 worlds colliding.
Youssef Drissi's creations are unisex. His shorts can be worn by both men and women, and so too can his tunics, inspired by traditional Moroccan menswear.
It's a tailored tunic, but deconstructed. You can see inside of the jacket with all its piping and finishes, a bit like it's actually the reverse side of one jacket on top of another jacket. The effect perhaps looks a bit unfinished, but that's absolutely the intention. It's a reminder of the rebellious side of what we do.
Drissi is the winner of the coveted Young Designer competition. He'll go away with 35,000 dirhams, about 3,200 euros, enough to help him set up his own label.
What does it really mean to have an African signature? Do you need to see the word Morocco to know we're from Morocco? Of course not. Youssef carries Morocco and his Africanness inside him. He lives in a country of colors, and that's what inspires him. The end result isn't simply about him reproducing what you'd find in his country. What's interesting is that despite the modernity on display, you can still feel the Moroccan influence.
Modernity is definitely the spirit of the event. Away from the catwalks on the sidelines of the official competition, Ivorian photographer Lee La Gazelle is immortalising as many unexpected moments as she can.
Seeing her here at the FIMA, just doing her knitting, I thought that was great. It made me happy. It was magnificent. I mainly photograph hands because our hands, I believe, are our identities. They determine who we are.
A face wearing a Berber headscarf surrounded by dozens of hands, an image to symbolise a cultural melting pot.
When I see this photo, I can't tell if it's a man or a woman. I can't identify them. All I know is that it's a person. With all those hands coming together. It's really about people coming together. It was the inspiration for my photo.
Another festival attendee to single out for attention, French graffiti artist Opar. Along with the 2 other members of his collective, he decided to come up with an artwork in the form of a puzzle. During the road trip down to Dakhla from Bordeaux, the group stopped in 3 different Moroccan villages, creating a new piece of the puzzle in each. Eventually, a stone's throw from the ocean, they found a wall that was exactly what they needed.
I like leaving my mark on all the journeys I take. There's an expression that's followed me for the last few years: painting to travel and travelling to paint. That's how I describe what I do. Every time I travel to a country, I can't not leave a mark or a tag. I do it everywhere I go.
Just like street art, fashion can seem ephemeral. After all, it's not the destination that counts, but the journey.